All right, coming to you from beautiful and super sunny Germany today. Claudia here, and I'm so happy to host this presentation today on Bitcoin. It is another training session, the Platinum Ambassador training session for Swiss Gold Global and for Team Recoa, Pastor Dr. Adrian Blue, and I'm looking if I have him here right now on the other line, and I do have Dr. Blue on the line. Wonderful. I'm gonna actually make you panelists so you can talk, Dr. Blue, because he is gonna open the call for me today. So I'm just passing him the control, so just bear with me 1 minute. It's gonna be an exciting session. So, Dr. Blue, are you there? Are you ready? Are you gonna, of course, give it your best introduction? I know you're here. Okay, so there you go.
You hear me now?
Yes, I can.
All right. Hello, Claudia, all the way from Switzerland. And I know it's about 12 o'clock at night around your time. Is that correct?
It is, yes.
Wow. And look, you look as beautiful as always. To everybody on the call today, we are so grateful that you are with us during this training. This is the Team Recoa training with one of the very best. I'm talking about the #1 business owner in the world who not only knows how to get it done, is getting it done, and want to show us how to do it even better. And that's what I'm excited about, that we constantly keep growing. This is the last webinar in this series of what we're doing called Ambassador Trainings. And so we're so excited about it. So all of those of you who can tune in, I want you to get pens and paper. Because as many of you I've been speaking to some of you, you know that I've been on a fiery, passionate push towards cryptocurrencies like never before. This is our time. More people will get wealthy in cryptocurrencies than ever before, and you don't want to miss this shift, this wealth shift. So again, pay attention, listen up closely, give your ear, your heart, your mind to understanding. There's no better person to share this than Claudia Eifer. Claudia Eifer, for many of you, told me months back, I mean, almost a year now, that to study cryptocurrency. That's one advice she gave me that I know. She gave me many pieces of advice. That one piece of advice has really empowered me and really helped me to be positioned to really build wealth. And today we're going to have the same one who taught me teach all of you. And we're going to do this together. And I'm excited to be a part of it. And I'm happy you can be here a part of it. So thank you for taking the time. And those of you who will be watching this in replay, listen here. This is going to be some good information today because we're going to be dealing with Bitcoin breakthrough. So without further ado, I want to introduce to some and present to others the #1 Platinum Ambassador, that's of the company, a business owner in Swiss Gold Global around the world. Not only my friend, but also my mentor. Someone who's here to help us succeed. And I'm happy that she is indeed. Let's welcome Ms. Claudia Eifer. Claudia, back in your hands. Let's pick it away. And we're excited about the information you're going to share today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Blue. It's always so great to hear you. It's really, really fantastic. And yeah, I remember exactly how I shared it with you. I just said, study it. You gotta get knowledgeable. And that's really what I want all the listeners today to really, if you don't know about Bitcoin or if you really don't have a lot of information, well, you know, they say in the Bible, the Bible, it's written there, you know, for the lack of knowledge, people perish. And so you got to gain that knowledge, and what better to get those knowledge than through those webinars which we are doing. So you got to participate on that. And some of you, of course, who know me, some of you don't, but the ones who know me, they know I'm actually the gold queen. So I have gold around hanging all over me and on me, and because I love gold. So why would I go into cryptocurrency? And a lot of people didn't really understand it. So that's why I'm here to really educate you now on that, because I believe it has a lot of similarities with, of course, gold. It's not yet time proven, obviously, but but there's some great things and lessons, of course, in it. And you know, life is lessons, and of course we don't know where we go, we don't know what the future holds, but there is a lot of changes happening, and either we, of course, you know, participate in, or we are going to miss out. So with that, I'm going to just now do a screen share, because I want to actually go through a presentation with you, which I have prepared for you tonight, and that is really talking about and giving you a little bit of understanding from maybe some simple terms, how I do understand Bitcoin, to make it easier for you listeners. So when we look in our future now, imagine if you would, or if you could actually take the time machine back into the early days of internet. How would your life look actually be different? Imagine, you know, you could have been participating when Apple launched, or when all those Coca-Cola launched, and so on. Imagine if you would have known that trend. Would your life be different right now? I believe it would be, right? So when you look at this next slide here, you see in June 2009, one Bitcoin was at, of course, 0.0001 in comparison to the US dollar. In May 2017, $1, of course, equals now 0.00057 Bitcoin. So what a change. I mean, what a change that is, $1. What it is now worth in Bitcoin. I got to know Bitcoin in 2010. I was in Panama City, Panama, and there was, you know, I was very much into gold, very much into silver, as I still am, very much. It's the solid foundation. That's really what it is, the best hedge against inflation. And I did hear about Bitcoin, and I did actually speak to one of my mentors, and certainly my mentor in gold and silver, and he couldn't see it because as of the many challenges which where, of course, or which gold has, and etc. So government regulations and etc. And if your listeners are from the United States, of course, you have the Gold Confiscation Act and all these things. And so unfortunately, I was not that wise that I would do more research and would also have a little bit of faith. I didn't, so I just, okay, skipped it. I didn't look further in it, but sort of it always kept in the back of my mind. And then, of course, just like a few years back, it was just kept going. And I, of course, digged myself further into knowledge, and I was lucky enough to really start and participate in that. Now, when you look at, of course, if you know the teachings from Dr. Blue, you know, of course, the Trinity of Wealth. Well, we have here a holy trinity of money: commodity, currency, and technology. And Bitcoin, what I believe and what we believe who are in Bitcoin, could represent the future of money. But what is really money? What is money? You see, money, well, used to be or should be a medium of exchange. It stands in for an arbitrarily long chain of barter, right? So you trade something against something. It's widely accepted. Money is a unit of account. It's recognizable, fungible, divisible, transportable, transferable, and it's very hard to counterfeit. Money is a store of value. And you see here the gold. Why do I talk about the gold? Well, money is gold. I wouldn't say fiat is, it's not really, it's gold. Gold is money for me. So I always make the comparison to gold. It has a stable supply, it's durable, secureable, and of course has value. But what is cryptocurrency? A digital monetary system based on three elements: commodity, currency, and a platform, a network. If nobody's going to use it, well, it is basically useless, right? But as more people are starting to use it, are starting to barter against, well, as more acceptable it is gonna become. And the challenge, of course, with gold was or is gold, of course, I do really like gold, but sometimes it's difficult if you have a gold bar to change it, exchanges, if you just want to buy an apple, right? Or if you want to just buy a banana. That makes it a little bit hard, as because you can't really, it is not so, it is, of course, as we have it with Swissquote Global, it comes in a liquid form in such a, so to say, because we can save in grams through Swissquote Global, and we can sell our grams back and so on. But of course, cryptocurrency is very much easier to split into very tiny, small units as to pay a cappuccino for it, for example, okay? And like gold, and you see here always the gold sign, because we are, in fact, a gold company, we have a limited supply. It's only 21 million Bitcoins ever be of course, mined. It's a controlled emission, impossible to produce more than that. If those are produced, those 21, they are mined, then it's all over, how do I say, right? Well, with gold, it is very, very similar. You have a limited supply of gold, and that makes it precious, okay? That's why we call it precious metals, because it makes it precious. Bitcoin is a new currency, of course. It's independent, and you see here the similarities, not controlled by any government or bank. So it's digital. It's not linked to any physical equivalent such as cash. And I see here a little bit of a mistake here in writing, but I'm German, so I'm sorry for that. It's guaranteed. It's supported by a limited commodity. And what makes it really different is that's decentralized, so it doesn't belong to any government body, remind you. And I'm speaking mostly, obviously, now on this presentation to a United States audience or Canada audience. Well, you probably all are aware about the US dollar or the Canadian dollar, correct? But the US dollar, of course, who actually issues the US dollar? Well, of course, the Federal Reserve Bank, which is a private institution, really, but issues the United States dollar. And Bitcoin, like gold, is decentralized. It doesn't belong to any government body, right? And no central issuing or verification authority, no Bitcoin corporation. It doesn't exist. And of course, there's a growing number of entrepreneurs accepting or basing new business concepts on Bitcoin. So every day there's something new launching based on the concept of Bitcoin. And it's relative to other bearer instruments, easier to transport anywhere in the world because it is digital. I actually have a hard wallet. So you have wallets which are in the internet, it's just a digital address, or you have a hard wallet. That's what I have. I don't know if you can see that here right now, but it's very easy to transport around because it's just a digital number. Of course, that's all it is. So it's easier to secure, and it's relative to other electronic currencies. It's immune to sovereign censorship, what I love, or shutdown or confiscation. And it's immune to inflation or bank defaults. We have a lot of people in our community here with Swissquote Global. They experienced different bank collapses all around the world. I'm not just speaking of the United States bank collapse. I'm speaking about UK. I'm speaking about Cyprus. I'm speaking about Iceland, where I just had the pleasure to be there a few weeks ago. So how does Bitcoin actually work? So I'm going to give you a little bit of a technical stuff here. Bitcoin is basically a protocol written a code, and the unit of accounts is Bitcoins. It's based on a blockchain, a growing general public ledger, of course, where every transaction is visible of cryptographical signed transactions. And all transactions are public, but are not by default tied to anyone's real identity, because what you can see is numbers, it's code. And it's very anonymous, of course, and traceable. funny thing is, when people or governments try to smash it and try to say, well, yeah, and drug dealers and this and that, that's bad. Well, look at it this way. If they wanted to get somebody, to trace somebody down, well, with $1, they couldn't do it because, I just read the other day, this guy in Mexico, this big drug dealer, El Chapo, or whatever his name is, they can't find his billions of dollars. I mean, billions of dollars. Well, if he would have Bitcoin, he certainly could be traced down. Why? Because it is, of course, all on the blockchain. If they wanted to, they probably could. So it's all nonsense. What people there sometimes say there. Yes, it is anonymous, of course, and you can transfer Bitcoins really from place A to place B. It's very, very simple. If you have a phone and if you know how to use your phone, it is very, very simple. You just scan the code and you just send it. It's like sending an SMS. It's like sending that's really all it is. It is not more. You just copy paste an address and send it to that address, and that's it. And the Bitcoins are there. The money is there. The money you have to pay is there. Very, very simple if you know how to use a phone, of course. And if you don't know how to use a phone, you can learn how to use a phone. I was in Vietnam recently, and I met a Chinese guy, and a Chinese guy, because I haven't been myself to China yet, so I have to still see that. He told me in China is everything digital. Their fingerprints, everything. I mean, they don't even use any more credit cards. It's everything on basically on their fingerprints or on their phone. What they are doing, they scan everything, and so. For us, of course, in Swissquote Global, we do mine Bitcoin, and miners are awarded newly minted Bitcoins or transaction fees for successfully finding blocks. This distributed algorithm ensures the bounty of new Bitcoins with asymptotically approach 20 until of course it's going to approach 21 million, and the reward for mining will then become, of course, transaction fees only. But till then, well, we are mining Bitcoin. And this distributed algorithm dynamically adjusts how much computing power it takes to find a valid block. That's why we always talk about computation power. As more computation power we have, as quicker it can find a valid block, and as quicker we can paid those transaction fees in forms of Bitcoin to us. And this bounty of transaction fees miners earn are the compensation for securing the blockchain. So it's very technical, very complicated. You don't really need to necessarily understand it. Just understand that as more of that hash power, that computation power you own, you have, as more Bitcoin you will mine. That's like, as more miners you have in your gold mine working and digging, as more the probability is that you're gonna get gold. Okay, if you are alone in your mine and you have a huge field, or let's say where you actually, or where the mine is large, and you looking and for that gold, you probably take way longer time doing it alone. But if you have a lot of help of your buddies, well, you dig quicker that gold. So very similar to computation power. So what do Bitcoins look like? They look like an algorithm, like different, of course, numbers, and very, very difficult actually to remember. That's called a public key and a private key. And so the public key is an address, and that, of course, basically it's 34 characters starting 1 or 3, represents a possible destination for payment. So it's like you have a bank account. If you have a bank account, I know we have a lot of people who don't have bank accounts, but if you have a bank account, well, if people have to transfer you money, you would give them your bank account number, right? And this is the same here with, of course, Bitcoin or the other decentralized cryptocurrencies, okay? And then the other way around. If you if you of course want to then get your Bitcoin out, you want to pay it out, you want to let's say to a Bitcoin ATM, because there are many Bitcoin ATMs already. There are other ways as well, but there's a lot of Bitcoin ATMs. So if you want to go to a Bitcoin ATM, you need your private key. Why do you need your private key? Well, because that is like you have your Visa card or your MasterCard, and you know, you need to have a PIN code, and your private key is basically, in simple terms, your PIN code. And I believe I see a hand there. Maybe Dr. Blue wants to say something there. I'm not sure, so just bear with me one moment if he wants to add something, or maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. All right. So let me go further here. So what do Bitcoin look like? You know, we really don't have an image because it is a digital number there, of course. And what is the legal status of Bitcoin? And I made a little bit of a joke here, but exchanging Bitcoins for anything is basically barter, which is, of course, legal. And the enhanced anonymity of Bitcoin potentially affords the same benefits as cash or gold to people operating outside the law, but additionally is relatively frictionless to transfer to anyone in the world. As with barter, of course, exchanging in Bitcoin doesn't remove the requirement to pay taxes or income sales. I mean, you know, it is taxable. It's that is, of course, clear. Now, we do understand that people avoid tax, but you know, they also would do it without Bitcoin. So there's always ways around, or for people who want to go around things. That's clear. But yes, Bitcoin is also taxable. Now, if, for example, in Germany, I'm German. Of course, if you buy your Bitcoin and you hold it longer than 1 year, well, it is not taxable anymore. So there's a lot of things, of course, which you need to learn about that. Now, the value entirely inside the Bitcoin economy can be extremely difficult or impossible to trace. Authorities are most likely to attempt to regulate, of course, the Bitcoin economy endpoints, so the exchanges. They're trying really, really hard to regulate the exchanges. And that is exactly when I was telling you in the beginning, I was speaking to my mentor, who is an amazing mentor in the gold industry. And he said, well, you know, governments would never legalize it. It's just impossible. But sort of the conclusion, what we all come to is governments, if they would love to regulate the internet, they would love to shut down the internet, right? But there are already riots on the streets. The whole Arab Spring has started because of the internet. If you don't know what was the Arab Spring, then do your Google research. So on that, the Arab Spring, of course, you know, it started in Africa, in Tunisia, and of course you had all those people really starting and riots on the streets against the system. Okay, it's against the systems, and so you really can't, I believe, shut down. I mean, they're trying really hard to Bitcoin anymore. There's too much going on. It has too much already adopted. Of course, it is too much adopted already by a widespread community. And you have many, many huge companies like Dell Computers, like Apple, like Amazon. I mean, so many companies accepting Bitcoin, so many industries around Bitcoin already built. And of course, I believe that that's somehow probably the governments a little bit skipped them, and they would maybe, or didn't think of it would gain such a power, but it certainly has. And when I just look at the growth, I mean, I'm not anymore looking at the growth week by week, day by day. The money which is flowing into cryptocurrency, it's just absolutely amazing. Future concept, of course, unified money, independent global currency, total control All transactions are transparent. Planetarization, business not linked to any country. Automatization, instant and direct transactions, no banks. And of course, banks do not like that. Hence, they're pushing very hard with governments. And because, of course, they want to make their money, it's clear. So when we look at today, gold, of course, and the future is probably going to be gold. And we always will have the gold. It's always there. It's our hedge against inflation. But in the future, it will be probably gold. I spoke to some credit card guys. This must be like now 1.5 years ago. We went to a company in Munich, the issuers of credit cards, and they said, probably 5 years more, and then may not any more credit cards around. So there's a lot of things happening because everything is going digital. And Bitcoin, of course, is money. Future, probably there will be more and more. Well, there's already more than 1,000 cryptocurrencies out, but there's more and more, of course, coming out. Bank, well, when we look at today, bank, well, that's the blockchain. This is the future, is the blockchain. And we look at the possibilities, I mean, with that, when you just look at the remittance businesses, the unbanked people, meaning people, which is the most of our population who cannot have a bank. They have no access to a bank account, but they can have access to Bitcoin, micro payments. So all this, there's huge possibilities. I myself have been, when was it? It was last year. I was last year in the United States, and when was I? Just in the very early of last year, and I met a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Mexican immigrants, but illegal immigrants, and they were working. I was in this area where I was. There was lots of them, so I was talking to lots because I love talking Spanish, because I speak Spanish, and so I connected with lots of them, and what they were telling me. They came illegal here, but they're paying taxes, so they have an ETAM number in the United States, but they can't basically have a bank account, but they pay taxes. So strange. I was like, this is crazy, but yeah. And now all those people can actually have, of course, access, and this is access to Bitcoin, and therefore send money home. Which is really great. You have people I mean, I'm living, of course, in Germany. I always say that we have so many refugees coming over, so many now, and every day more and more refugees coming in. Well, they are all sending money home. Why would they use Western Union or MoneyGram or PayPal if they have so much fees? They are better off using Bitcoin. So I have prepared here a slide for you on the remittance fees, and that's actually from the World Bank in 2013. So figure that. In 2012, remittances hit an all-time high of 534 billion US dollars. 534 billion US dollars. Imagine, this was 2012. This is, of course, now we are 17, 5 years later. This has grown. So on average, global remitters pay 8.3 transfer fee on average, 8.3%, with some inter-African remittance fees as high as 30%. As high as 30%. I mean, I know we have a lot of bank wires coming in, and we had just recently one bank wire coming in from France from a person. They had to pay a huge fee on the bank, and then, of course, when arriving in Switzerland, that bank took money as well, but it came up to something like over 30%, which is, of course, crazy. So why would you do that if Bitcoin can be sent almost for free and instantly around the world with a data or an internet connection? Of course, it just makes sense that people go that way. But the great thing is, of course, to now with Bitcoin bank the unbanked. 2.5 billion adults half of the global population are underbanked or unbanked. They have not access to a bank account. 2/3 of the unbanked do not have enough money to use a bank account. A Bitcoin wallet allows anyone to send and receive money, much like a bank account, only quicker and without fees. And a Bitcoin wallet is free. You don't pay for it. All you need is an internet access or a data connection. That's all what you need. And that's really beautiful because, and that's why, I believe it is really the future. And that's why I'm so happy and so proud that we integrated the mining option for Bitcoin, Dash, Litecoin, and Ethereum into Swiss Gold Global, because now you can have access to that. Now you cannot say, I didn't hear about it, I wasn't aware about it, and you can actually start mining with the best and cheapest mining company in the world. So you get access to the cheapest mining. That means you're gonna get more for your money when you mine with Swiss Gold Global than you get anywhere else. So where do you want to mine your Bitcoin? Where do you want to mine your money? Well, you want to mine it with us. So something to think about it. What are you going to do with that information? What are you going to do about it? I know so many people, they want to do things and they think about doing it, but then they don't do it. Well, when I talked with Dr. Blue, I think Bitcoin was at 600. He did his research. Bitcoin is now what, at 1,700, 1,800. It hit 1,900. I mean, this is crazy. This is not going to go away. You just saw the statistics before. Global remittances, the unbanked. Those people have what? They have a phone. They have a telephone. They are getting aware of it. Absolutely. And they know how to use their phone, I can tell you that. I just came back from Nigeria. And they're starting to use other remittances. Why? Well, because they can have it cheaper. That's very much clear. So I hope this brief thing to think about it and to act on about it. It's very easy to open a, of course, Bitcoin address. It's actually, you can even create it inside your back office with Swiss Gold Global. You just push a button. It is just so easy to do. If you don't know where to go, if you, of course, otherwise there's many options, and I'm probably gonna talk about that in my next presentation. So in the next presentation, or I'm shooting some videos, I'm going to give you some options where, of course, you can get Bitcoin wallets, or what are the best Bitcoin wallets on my point of view. I like very much this one. So let me just see if it comes back here to my Hangouts. I'm just stopped. Okay, stop my screen sharing so that you see me. I very much like this. This is a Trezor. So a Trezor, that's a hard wallet. And since I very much operate, almost only with Bitcoin and gold nowadays, I, of course, have several wallets. Like, people have several bank accounts, right? And I'm having several wallets, several Bitcoin addresses. And I do have also a hard wallet. And the hard wallet is probably the most secure, well, it's not probably, it is the most secure wallet which you can have. It's going to cost you around $99 if you buy one. If you buy a few, which I have, you get it probably for $70-something, one of those hard wallets. But I can have several addresses on here, and I can store several coins on that Trezor wallet. There are different hard wallets, and we're going to talk about in further sessions about that. I just don't want to keep it longer than now 30 minutes, which I'm already on it. So I hope that you learned something about it. Dr. Blue, would you like to add something, what you have learned, maybe some experience of you? But I want to end that from my part. I know it's a lot of training, and we're going to talk more about that. We're going to educate it more about that. But I believe, it's the future. It's a future trend, and you know, or either you're going to miss it or you're going to stay on trend. So it's up to you. Dr. Blue, if you're still there, which I believe you are.
I'm still here.
Good.
I am. All right. Yes, yes, indeed. Let me just say to all of you, from the time that Claudia talked to me about cryptocurrency, when I first heard it, I heard a few things on NPR. Those of you in the States know that that's a talk radio, NPR, where they were talking about Bitcoin back in 2009 when it first came out. And even though I heard about it, I never knew how to get it. I never fully got into it. And then when Claudia sat down and talked with me,
understand with absolute certainty that this was it, that this was no question, no doubt, the best opportunity that exists here. And then when I begin to see the rise of it and how, again, this is how I like to explain it. Bitcoin grows your money, gold and silver protects your money. So you got protection and growth at the same time. And we talk about the trinity of wealth creation, gold, silver, cryptocurrencies. We're talking about the fastest growing assets, the most secure assets that exist on the planet today. And we can be a part of that through Swissco Global and offer that to people on savings accounts, which they can initiate for a minimum of $30. So when you think about it here, not only is this here to stay, but what are you going to do to build your businesses, to go out, to talk to people, to help people in your family? You know what? Change how you're giving out gift certificates, or birthday presents and special days, and change what you give out. Give out certificates in gold and silver. Give out certificates in cryptocurrency. Give those out to people who, once they have it, you do much more for them in that than you would if you gave them that shirt, those shoes, or anything else. The reason why I say this is because those who get involved with cryptocurrencies now, we are seeing it right here and right now. You are going to see the unfolding of not only a trend, but an avenue that's going to make a lot of people wealthy. And that's why I love that we do this with our company, Swissco Global. We're the real wealth company, real wealth company, and all our products, no lotions or potions or buckets of lotions, no pills, no deals, all those other thrills, only gold, silver, cryptocurrency with a powerful education program with teachers like Claudia Eifer, our president, Bill Rao, Bob Proctor from the movie The Secret, but all kinds of individuals. Hey, I'm even here. So we're excited about what exists here, and I don't want none of you to miss it. So as you receive the information today, I'll say to you the same thing that was told to me by Claudia. Study it, and again, study it. Study cryptocurrency. It's the wave of the future. Okay, well, with that said, Claudia, I want to thank you today for all that you have done and are doing for the success of many people worldwide. I know that you are helping people, you are making it happen, and I want to say thank you for your steadfastness in making sure that we are built up, trained up, so we can go out and help the masses of people. Because if each one reaches one, then some can reach more. If more reach many, we'll be free from captivity for sure. Thank you, Claudia Eifer, and thank all of you for being on the call today, whether you're listening live or you're listening to a replay. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you at the top, because everybody knows it's too crowded at the bottom.
Amen. Thank you so much, Dr. Blue. It's amazing. Thank you so much, and thank you all listeners. And I look forward to see you on one of our next sessions. And I'm certainly gonna shoot some videos for you on wallets and some more technical stuff presented easy to you. So follow us on our YouTube channel. And thank you so much. And as Dr. Blue said, it is too crowded at the bottom. So it's better to go on the top. Thank you. Bye.